It's a weird time at the St Kilda Football Club. They have turned the corner in the back end of the season and conjured up a handful of wins to try and build some momentum into 2026. Now the wins have come against the other bottom teams and been far from convincing, but it is a starting point. Pair this with the monumental signature of Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, also known as Nasiah the Messiah, and it has been a positive few weeks. But the reality is, it is still a crucial off-season for the Saints, in so many ways. Despite on-field success and a few wins, the off-field part of the club doesn't look as stable. Reports of unrest in the senior playing corps with regards to list management, and as always, with their senior coach in Ross Lyon. There might be no more fascinating coach in the competition than Ross the Boss. He's quirky and unique for sure, but a couple of his latest media appearances were important. Let's get to the basis of the discussion and the main reason Lyon has been frustrated in the past couple of weeks. List management rumours and player unease. Sam Edmund on Channel 7, the Herald Sun, and now infamously Michelangelo Rucci on SEN all chipped in to reveal issues brewing with St Kilda players. Now Edmund and the Herald Sun focused on vice-captain Cal Wilkie as the main player. In a tweet, Edmund said, Cal Wilkie has a level of disillusionment towards his club and holds concerns over its list management moves. Doesn't mean the contracted defender will request a trade, but clubs view him as gettable. Wilkie isn't happy with the attempts to retain Nasiah and Windhager, and was disappointed Marshall wasn't fully informed of the TDK plan sooner. John Ralph for the Herald Sun mentioned someone who had the full knowledge of Wilkie's opinion on the supposed mega offer the Saints have dished out for Tom de Koning, using the word bemused to describe Wilkie's thoughts. Then there was Rucci. The South Australian said on SEN radio that St Kilda will spend money on big name targets, but in doing so, there will be an exodus. St Kilda have been actively looking to spend money. The fallout is Callum Wilkie will seek his options elsewhere, Jack Steele will explore greener pastures, as will Marcus Windhager. As for Rowan Marshall, he's going somewhere. The reports all came out of nowhere and were all revealed in a similar time, that being early in the week post round 22. It was just fitting that Ross Lyon would be on Footy Classified on their Tuesday edition that week to answer all questions. Now the former Footy Classified panel member returned and most of the appearance was low-key. Not too many hard questions were asked, and it was clear watching that everyone was in on what was going to be aired on television. But the one part that raised eyebrows was Lyon's response to Rucci. He must have hit a nerve. Now Lyon first revealed that Wilkie rang him pre the show to tell him he loved the club and never entertained going anywhere else. That is important, but he then launched into Rucci in a staunch defence of his club. There's a lot of half-baked stories, that's what I see. I heard the Rucci stuff. I thought it was two old blokes having a beer and a barbecue in the backyard. There was no substance, no rigour. I was like, Ruch, you send me postcards from Italy herding the sheep and counting the sheep. To be honest, you're a Port Adelaide nuffy. Let's move on, without being denigrating. Does he write content for the Port Adelaide Sample Club? Is he a mad Port Adelaide? Are they trying to get us into a bit of turmoil? Now Lyon said all of this with a bit of a smile on his face, but you could tell he was being serious in questioning not just Rucci's own report, but the others based around St Kilda. Rucci did respond one last time. Players know what others are getting paid and it causes unrest, and it's the way Ross operates. We know what Ross is famous for, and we know what Ross is like at a press conference. We know he's a psychological animal at press conferences. He stares down people. As he did in that press conference, he deflects. He doesn't answer, he deflects. His next media appearance also wasn't smooth, and it was a clear signal of the frustration Lyon was feeling around the narrative building at the club, whether it is true or not. He began his midweek pre-game press conference saying the reports were, quote, nothing to get upset about, and quote, nothing frustrates me, to be honest. I'm not here for the laundry list of half-baked stories. There's not much credibility to it. He also made it clear he doesn't go on X, formerly known as Twitter, and listen or read to the garbage being reported on the social media platform. We'll get to that a bit later on. but after more questions on the club's players and list management, a final one on out-of-contract midfielder Marcus Windhager saw Lyon end the press conference. "Can I just put an overarching statement? I'm not here to list management, pre-game, going into a Friday game. That's not why we called this presser. That's where you are heading again. I'm not really prepared to dive into individuals that are either contracted or are out. Enough is enough, to be honest. Thanks guys." Clearly, he was frustrated. But I do think Lyon might be lying. Apparently he doesn't sit on X and read people's tweets, but he might be a new tweeter himself. In a bit of a bizarre event pre-game against Essendon, Lyon uploaded this to his own X account. It reads, "How good, Essendon Legends game. Looking for a Gary Moorcroft goal square hang. Oh no, might be hard. Marvel Stadium did not manage to close the roof before the rain came." It was random, and at the time of recording this, has over 225,000 views on the X platform. Even this photo surfaced of Lyon taking the photo used in that pre-game tweet. At least we can always count on Ross the Boss to truly be himself. But in all seriousness, it is a huge off-season for St Kilda. They have finished this year off strong, and the emergence of some young players like Max Hall, Alex Taru, Hugo Garcia, Hugh Boxall, and of course Wangini Millera, should get Saints fans excited. It seems for now the rumours of player unrest have calmed down, but it is the risk you take when you offer big money to opposition players like the Saints have. Even Tom de Koning is a discussion for another day, but the list management team will be hoping the money offered to him doesn't offend too many players. The cap will also be put under stress if de Koning joins. 2 players on around $2 million per season has to be a risk. Perhaps you are damned if you do and damned if you don't, and the Saints hierarchy will argue they needed to keep Wangini Millera and also get in more talent, even if they had to pay well overs. Getting that Nazaya signature for 2 more years at least sets up a template to build on. Losing him would have been a devastating blow to the club, and on the agenda setters post his signing, Lyon made it clear to everyone how big of a loss he would have been. It would have been catastrophic for the overall strategy, because from there it's like, well, where's our really high level performer? So it was a pivotal piece. Despite a positive end of the season for St Kilda and some progression with their youth, it is still an interesting trade period on off season for a few of their players. For now it seems stable, and Lyon, like always, is defending his club and assuring the fans all is well behind the scenes.